Welcome one and all to Umami Manga. My name is Peta, and with me here I have my very elegant friend James.
Charmed.
And today we are talking about Volume 14. Oh my god, who am I now? Um, of Spy Family.
Not very elegant of you.
No, I lost my elegance very quickly. Um, this volume, my gosh, it opens with the results of the exam from the previous volume. Turns out that Anya did great in classical language, but really bad in math. So she earned herself a new Stella Star, but also another Tonitrus Bolt, now having three of each. Damien's brother Demetrius made a brief appearance.
Mm.
The Forger family went skiing and ended up in an Agatha Christie type murder mystery. Then the school's dance party came along where Ewan and Emil, Damien's friends, held a competition to decide which girl would get to dance with Damien. Anya was victorious, and so they got their dance. Then the volume delves into Henry Henderson's and Martha Marriott's past, a tragic love story that I found very, very gripping. And those flashbacks, as well as the volume as a whole, ends here with Henry getting married to someone he doesn't love, while Martha wakes up in bandages somewhere near the east-west border.
Yeah,
This was a heavy volume.
it really was. And it started off so light and funny
Yeah.
and had a big reveal with Anya saying, I can read people's minds to
Mhm.
Damien. Not that he cared or thought it was real.
Right.
But I thought going into the volume, or I should say, when I read that,
Hmm.
I thought that would be the big talking point of this volume. And then we got into the Henry and Martha stuff, and that just broke me, to be honest. And then
Yeah,
rereading it
same.
a second time, I was crying.
Yeah, I was reading it the first time at work actually, and so I had to well, I couldn't let loose fully.
Uh,
But when I was rereading it earlier today, I was bawling. Oh my gosh.
yeah,
It's really well done and so sad. Oh my god. I can't wait to talk about these characters and how their
yeah,
stories have affected, well, how it's affected us, I guess.
indeed.
Let's start with the gentleman on the volume cover, Henry Henderson. He asked Martha to dance with him during the gala, which the first time reading that was, pretty nice, but I didn't think
Yeah,
much more of it. But then reading that part the second time, obviously by that time knowing their history,
yeah,
that like it got me really emotional knowing them by that point, and and yeah, then getting into the backstory is so sad and heartbreaking.
yeah,
It is heartbreaking, but it's also making me, I guess, brief or slightly hopeful for them in present day to maybe end up together. But at the same time, it's like I don't want to
mm,
dare to to hope too much for that.
yeah. Gosh, I would love that too, and I definitely did think about that. Although I have some ideas of you know what could have happened when they get back, and when she gets back, I should say, and talk about that. But
Yes, yes.
what I like that you pointed out is that they dance with each other, and you
Mm,
wouldn't think too much about it without knowing the backstory. Uh, but since we know that obviously Martha comes back, and this was not their first time seeing each other, Henry and Martha,
yeah.
they have had some sort of reunion with each other before this. Who knows how long ago it was? It could be, not that long after she got back from her injuries.
Right.
But yeah, to see them being able to dance with each other, talk with each other, on a friendly basis is good, and that's nice. But it is also painful knowing what could have been.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and just like the timing and there's
Another case where war is just absolutely terrible. I mean, there's
yes.
few
Oh,
cases
yes.
where I think there's a win for war. I know. very philosophical here.
Yeah,
But
no, the war definitely triumphed over over them in in that story.
yeah,
It's
just
very sad.
another case of, or another example that Endo gives of how terrible war truly can be,
Exactly.
uh, among the many other examples he's given.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, like I guess diving in like from the start, I guess into their backstory that was given here, I really appreciated getting to see the first time that Henry ever said the word elegant, and it was when he saw Martha the
Yeah,
first time.
that
That oh,
is a wow.
it's so
I can't
cute.
believe it. It's so cute. Yes, very much so.
And the two of them starting to have tea together every day in school was also very wholesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was very interesting to get to know both of these characters and their ideologies, kind of, um, because while Henderson has been around for, well, the whole story more or less, we haven't really known him on a deep level until now.
Right.
Um,
Right.
so so I really appreciated getting to know him as well as Martha, who obviously hasn't been around as much, but still.
Sure. Absolutely.
Um,
Yeah.
but I really respect Henry for his really strong ideals, and his aspirations are high, but certainly worth fighting for still in the ways that he can and the ways that he knows.
Yeah. I totally agree that his ideals and his, passion for them is very strong and a great quality of his. Um, there's nothing wrong with wanting to change the world with education,
Yeah.
wanting to be a great instructor and help mold the minds for a better society, a more elegant society.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, I could see where he's coming from and hoping to change his country like that.
Mm,
Uh, but unfortunately, it was also his downfall, at least when it came to love.
yeah.
He couldn't see past his that I don't know if hubris is the right word, but past his ideals,
Mm,
um, and see that in a way it was hurting the people that he cared about, and he just didn't know it.
right. Yeah. Yeah. He realized all of it just a little too late.
Yeah.
But knowing now where he stands, like morally and whatnot, and knowing it very well, and knowing that those feelings within him are quite strong, probably still, even though he doesn't like shout about it anymore in the same way maybe that he used to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I feel like we now know for sure that really he could be a great ally to to Twilight and to Wise, potentially in the future, because they have a similar type of endeavor.
Hmm. I didn't think about that.
And it's just I don't know, just an exciting future potentially.
Yeah. At the very least, I think if he could go back in some ways, I think he would. Well, one, obviously, he would have, tried to make it work with Martha, realizing his feelings and things like that. But also, I don't know. I think maybe he would have tried to fight back a bit, like show more of a backbone. Um,
Mm,
Not that I blame him for denouncing everything he said against the regime, against the
yeah.
war.
Mm,
Uh, Live to fight another day. But I do think, you know, maybe there's part of him that wishes he could have kept to his ideals or kept to, fight back against that. But
and I
who
think he
knows?
he is still fighting against it. It's just in through education and through being more tactful maybe than he used to be.
I could see that. Yeah.
But yeah, like seeing Henry coming to terms with his feelings for Martha during their letter exchange, because I feel like it wasn't really until they started exchanging letters that he started to really understand how he felt about her.
Right.
Especially when
Mm-hmm.
the letters started coming less frequently. Um, Longing makes the heart grow fonder is a term that we've cited many times on this podcast. I feel like, um, and I think that's definitely what was happening there, and it was just it just felt so real, like the whole process that he went through in understanding his feelings for her. and and the part that really, I think, really got me, at least from his side of it in that moment, was when he wrote the last letter to her, and he had wiped her favorite tea leaves on it.
Oh, he's desperate,
And
man.
oh, that teared me up so much. Oh,
Well,
so good.
I think not only realizing his feelings for her, but also knowing that she was broken and
Hmm.
really in a dark place, and
Yeah.
war is just so terrible. Just anything to make her feel like she's home again, or get help her to get through it. Yeah, I think that was a mad attempt to do to help out.
Mm,
But anyway, I thought that was so sweet and precious.
yeah.
Um, they did that, and then I don't know, he didn't write it as far as I understand, but just repeating "come back, come back, come back."
Right.
That's
Oh,
really what got me. I
that's
think
also
when
really good. Oh,
I read
Henry.
that. Oof.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, it's like Spy Family has been serious before, obviously, but it's never been this sad. Like straight up, or I don't know. It's been sad, but I don't know. It's never made me cry as much as this volume did.
Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
didn't think that Spy Family could do that. It's like it was
Right?
almost like To Your Eternity level crying. Almost. Not quite, but
Almost. Yeah.
nearly
No.
there.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, I'm impressed.
Yeah. I am too. I think he kind of flexed his muscles here, Endo being and showing that look, this is not just a comedy manga. These
Yeah.
characters in the story can be emotionally complex,
Hmm.
uh, and deep or impactful, I should say. And to be fair, I do think we've had moments where the story does get somber or
Yeah.
does take a very sad turn, particularly with it comes to mind Lloyd's background.
Hmm.
That was certainly a somber uh, few chapters,
Yeah.
but yeah, for sure, this one, I think you'll agree, this one is probably has hit the most, or has hit me the hardest.
I do agree, yeah.
And we're not even done technically.
No, precisely. It's supposedly going to continue into the next one with these flashbacks, so that's very exciting. Um, but yeah, anything else on Henry?
Education wasn't powerless; he was powerless.
Yeah,
Oof.
yeah. That was a very rough realization.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Mm-mm. Then next, let's talk about Martha Marriott. She met Henry when or after she transferred into Eden Academy, thanks to her ballet talents.
A prodigy.
Exactly. And I like that in school she became a little bit of a masked vigilante, or at the very least to save Henry from the bullies. That was very fun. But it also got me thinking that um, that side of her that enjoyed being the masked vigilante, was probably the same side that eventually got her onto the battlefield a little later.
Oh, interesting.
Uh,
I didn't think about that.
is like using violence with just intentions, I guess, is kind of the same thing.
Hmm.
Because Martha decided to start fighting back directly, because it was the only thing that she could think to do in order to stop the things that she loves from disappearing from her life. It's a very passionate course of action, and I respect it for that, but ultimately it was obviously very reckless. It was too reckless. Uh, and she did end up regretting it. But it's still like it was such a passion fueled way of acting that I still kind of can't help but respect it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you're probably right with that masked comparison, or the very least, her intentions to want to protect people that she cares about.
Mm.
I think it becomes really clear that she would, be willing to do anything to protect the people she cares about. when she heard about the bombing of the ballerina theater group, and the star ballerina that she idolized died.
Hmm.
Joanna, whatever her name was.
Yeah.
Um, and the company disbanded, and so all of her dreams were basically crushed at that point. And so I think she just decided to try to take matters into her own hand and
Mm.
protect uh, those that she cared about. So
Yeah.
yeah, I could see that, and I don't really blame her for, or anyone who's put in that situation and feels like this is the best course of action for me.
Hmm.
Um, it's just it's tough because clearly Ostania is you know not a great not a great country.
No.
Um, and yet there are great people in the country who have
Yes.
no choice but to fight in order
Hmm.
to, I guess, protect those that they love, and keep some sort of sanity in a way. Um, I don't know. It's hard. There are some people who are easily brainwashed, or who buy into the propaganda and things like that on both sides in this war, at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but it's hard not to see this and think, okay, it, we can't really paint everybody black or white in some instances.
For sure.
Not that I'm an Ostania supporter. I swear I'm not. I'm not.
Are you?
Um,
Are you an Estonian spy?
I was never here. Um,
Uh,
but yeah.
mm-mm. Then, of course, the scene where Martha was just about to confess her feelings for Henry during their dance,
Uh,
and then the alarm went off, interrupting her confession, and then the moment just kind of passed them by. That that was also awfully sad. It made me cry.
uh, yeah, it's a shame that she couldn't just say it again. I mean, Henry even gave her a chance. Not that he knew what was coming,
Mm.
the thick-headed moron, but um, she had another chance, but she chickened out. And it's not easy. It's not easy to put yourself out there.
No, it's not.
Um,
And it's such as like sometimes like those types of things can be so tied to the circumstances, like,
yeah,
and it may have felt easy for her during the dance, but suddenly afterward the moment was past and it didn't feel it that way anymore. And she explained how infuriated she was with her wavering courage in that moment,
yeah.
and I get that.
For most of the story, we've seen Martha as this elegant lady butler who, tries to help Becky be more ladylike and understand that she can just buy everything she wants and things like that.
Yeah.
Um, but now we see what she was like as younger, and maybe a little bit more when she's not being professional. And it was just, very nice to see that this side of her character and see how she's grown from a young girl, a young woman, to the person she is now. And I think
Mm,
we'll obviously see that more in the next volume.
yeah,
But as heartbreaking as it was nice to see that backstory. Um,
for sure.
she's a lot more, not airhead, but I don't know.
She's, I guess, a little hot-headed, maybe.
Well, definitely a bit of that. I feel like she has these whims, or these emotional tides where, for example, when she was crying about losing courage, and then she realizes, oh, I could write a letter to him, and then she goes into that, and I thought that was very
Ah,
sweet, where she just really perks up and gets really excited,
yeah, yeah.
and so that was good, and maybe that was just one instance, but I feel like there was a little earlier in the story, there was, or in this backstory, there was some instances of that as well. Um,
Mm,
like when, I guess, when she saw Henry again when he came back as a teacher,
yeah, yeah.
um, things like that. But anywho, overall, I really do adore this backstory. It's I think it'll have a bittersweet ending, but right now it's just a pretty sad story.
Yeah, right. Precisely. I have a similar feeling. And yeah, for me, the last thing I want to bring up about Martha, and we've kind of touched on it already a little bit, but I just want to emphasize it, and because I think it's especially tied to Martha's character, is how the anti-war messages are portrayed in this volume through her mostly, I would say. Although obviously it's entirely in the flashbacks, but um, it's not only did the war interrupt her love confession, which was a crucial moment, and that obviously
Mm-hmm.
affected their entire lives potentially. They could have ended up, spending their lives together if it wasn't for that one moment and for that one interruption. Um, so that's one thing, but also how Martha was initially so proud to march into war and so determined and everything. But once she was there in person, she realized obviously how terrible a mistake she'd made and how horrible the whole thing was.
When you mean march into war, do you mean her first position within the women brigade, or do you mean when she went into the front lines?
Well, I specifically the front lines, which maybe she wasn't like excited for, but she was at least
I think they basically it was an ultimatum, like they had to do it or they would die.
sure. But it was at least something that she when she signed up for the initial thing, she seemed to want to go out to the battlefronts.
Yeah.
So it was ultimately what she wanted. Maybe she didn't want it when she actually had to do it, but she had prior to that, at least the way I understood it, she had wanted to do that. Plus, also when she
Mm-hmm.
ultimately is forced out into war, she does say, "If we're dead either way, then I could at least kill one enemy, or even just stop one bullet that could be fired toward the east." So like it is a
Mm-hmm.
very patriotic, even though she does say it with fear in her face. It
Mm-hmm.
is still, I don't know. I don't think she was entirely down about it totally at that point. But when she wrote the letter to Henry from the battlefield, then like, at that point she was broken
I mean,
completely.
clearly she felt like basically giving up my life would have been better than this.
Yeah.
She didn't say that, but when she says that it, or basically that she has regrets,
Hmm.
I think
Yeah.
that's more or less what you're saying. Now it could be just regrets in joining in general. Um, I mean, because I guess it was just inevitable that she would it would lead her to this point
Mm,
because of how corrupt the military is. But
yeah.
either way, it was a terrible position, and I feel bad for her and all people who are trapped in war. Um,
Yeah.
you know, it's a complicated subject, and maybe depending on who you talk to, you know, and what manga or story you're reading, it could be as simple as just don't do it.
Uh-huh.
But obviously, people have ulterior motives slash feelings
Mm,
and pride and whatnot, and that's hard to truly reconcile, and unfortunately, it affects so many people, especially when you're dealing with big countries like Westalis and Ostania. So
yeah.
it's it's nice to get this viewpoint.
Precisely.
Um, it's just sad.
So sad. I'm also or by the way, do you have anything more on Martha?
Yeah, my last thing is that a lot of the times these kind of war torn lover stories, I should say it's a common trope in war torn love stories that the male lover will go to war, never come back, basically be declared dead. The woman will grieve, but eventually try to move on and maybe even find a family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then and then the lost lover comes back, and
Yeah.
how that resolves just depends on what they want to write. Sometimes they elope, or
Hmm.
basically get to get back together. Sometimes the woman won't move on or shouldn't move on,
Yeah.
etc., etc. So, but it's interesting to see. We kind of see the opposite here, and I think we can take a good guess at how it's going to end. Uh, but it is interesting to see the woman being lost in battle and the man being forced to move on.
Yeah, right. I agree. It was fresh in that way. And my last thing here, and it's kind of in general for the flashbacks, is that I interpret this wartime that they lived through, and that was portrayed here. I'm interpreting that as like a parallel to World War II, seeing as the
Mm.
present day parallel is the Cold War. And so this, I'm
Oh,
I'm guessing it was World War
that would make
II
more
or World
sense.
War II, equivalent. That was what was shown here in the flashbacks.
Okay, well, help my not very smart history brain. Um, in this story or in this flashback, did they mention Westalis at all?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, it did. Uh,
Because if they did, then West Germany was not established until after
yeah,
World War II.
I believe it's a bit different in that regard. Actually, I did think
Mm.
about that. It does kind of establish that the East and West things already existed before the war,
Mm-hmm.
which doesn't match the real world, and obviously a lot of things don't. Um,
Yeah.
but that yeah, that does seem to be one difference uh, compared to the real world. But it's still yeah, I still get the feeling that it's supposed to be like a World War II esque war. Uh, if the present day is the Cold War.
That's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. World War II esque. I mean, there's no way to know if there's necessarily a Nazi regime that's marching through
Yeah, I don't know.
local countries and the world and everything like that in this story right now. Um, but World War II esque in terms of the war tactics and technology
Hmm.
and just basic setting. I
Yeah,
think that's accurate.
exactly. Yeah. But yeah, about that, yeah, it is interesting to know that the East-West thing has existed for quite some time. It's not as recent as we may have thought before, since we were, or at least I was sort of like partially assuming that the East-West thing was a
Yeah,
relatively new thing, just looking at the real world and the time frame there. But yeah, it seems like it's existed longer than at least I thought it had.
I am curious how old Henry and Martha are now.
Oh, actually, there was a page with like a timeline esque thing. Well, it's very incomprehensible in a lot of ways, but it does confirm Henry and Martha as 66 and 63, respectively.
Oh wow, okay, I mean that's pretty spot on. Uh, okay. Oh wow, that's a little younger than I thought. Although that is retirement age, of course, at least for Henry.
Yeah.
I guess that would still fit in terms of timeline for World War II to
Hmm.
Cold War, I suppose.
I think so
It's what
too,
it was like
since
what 20 years,
they've said it's
30 years, 20 years.
uh, I believe Endo said something about the present day Spy Family story being inspired by the 1970s, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 30 years after
So
the
then
end of
30
World War
years.
II.
Yeah.
Um, I think it could. I think it could work. As a rough, at the very least, a rough mirror to the real world.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting.
Mm.
This is important for theories that I have, so I'm
Ah,
glad we
fascinating.
discussed it.
Great. All right then. Let's leave the flashbacks and talk next about Anya Forger. Overall, Anya's grades are still pretty bad, but they have improved quite a lot.
I mean, yeah. Give credit where credit is due.
Absolutely. And yeah, that is amazing. I'm very, very impressed.
And she's got to figure out her math. Oh, okay. Well, I guess she fell asleep during the math portion, but still,
Yeah.
it was pretty bad.
Yeah. So now she is 5 stars away from Imperial Scholarship, but also 5 Tonitrus bolts away from being expelled.
Hey, good for her for getting second in the language studies.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of comical she didn't get first. Um,
Always someone better.
yeah. Curse you, Arthur Crowley.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, she still got the Stellar Star.
Yes. Um, and Anya doesn't remember much from when she was younger. But Lloyd, obviously here, he wonders if she used to be someplace where classical language was used. I believe we speculated along these lines too.
Yeah.
Maybe last time or whenever it was. Probably last time. So yeah, I think it's fun that the manga itself is bringing it up here, in this kind of a way. Obviously, nothing's confirmed, but it seems like at this point, definitely the story is going to delve into that eventually. So
Yeah,
I'm very excited for that.
that's one of those hanging. Yeah, it's one of those hanging plot threads that I'm excited to see get addressed eventually.
Hmm.
And it does seem that Lloyd at least suspects that could be the case, although he's not. I don't think he's really digging into it yet.
Yeah.
But I think eventually it could come to a point where he puts maybe some pieces together and can figure out why that's the case.
Yes.
At least that's what I think would happen. I mean, it could be where, you know, Endo tells the reader how it is, like the narration does. But I feel like it'd be more interesting if Lloyd were to somehow piece it together.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think that would affect. At least I don't think it would affect his relationship with Anya or ruin
No.
Operations Strix. But
Yeah. No.
I
I
don't know.
think he could totally learn about her secrets and still love her as a daughter.
Yeah.
Definitely. In fact, it may even be helpful to the operation,
Yeah.
if he knew. But yeah, Anya has apparently gotten rather popular in school now after the bus hijacking incident.
Mm.
So that was very fun to see. Uh, she's not, well, she's still, I guess, the weird kid, but she's also a popular kid at the same time.
Yeah. The era of Anya continues.
Exactly. Uh, and yeah, as you said earlier on here, she did tell Damien straight up that she can read minds.
Yeah, I was like,
That
whoa.
was, yeah, and like the big page of it, and like, wow, that moment seemed major, but then obviously at least right there it didn't lead to anything. Damien obviously didn't believe her because why would he? Um,
Yeah.
but I do still expect that this confession, if you want to call it that, I think is
Hmm.
going to help Damien realize it further down the line that Anya can do this.
Yeah, that's gonna be on his mind now
Mm-hmm.
from now on.
For sure.
Um, and I don't see it being a bad thing. I mean, there could be some sort of trust or some sort of obstacle that they have to overcome, or friction between the two. But
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, I think it'll only help them get closer as friends.
Yes.
Again, you know, Lloyd has always been about Plan B, and at times I guess now Plan C. Plan A is just out the window. He's not gonna have it. But I think Anya's doing her own thing, and she's gonna just do it all,
Yes.
without really meaning to. um, well, I mean, she wants to get it done, but I think it's just
Yeah.
it's not planned out. It just
Exactly.
happens naturally,
Mm-hmm.
and that's part of the charm of Spy Family for sure.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, but is that all on Anya?
Yeah.
Then next, let's talk a bit about the various Desmond boys that appeared in this volume.
All right.
Let's start with Damien Desmond. Out of those, he got the highest score in history, which I thought
Yeah.
was interesting since that's apparently Henry's main subject. I don't know
True. True.
if it's because if there's some correlation there, but it's just an observation I made.
You know, I think Donovan seemed to also have an interest in history since
True.
Henry was his favorite teacher. But anyway,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Could
digress.
be something there, but yeah. Damien also loves his papa,
Yeah.
as we learned in the quiz, and
Don't
yeah.
tell his mom.
Yeah. Uh,
I think she'd be equally heartbroken and upset.
yeah, no, that's that's true. Yeah. At least the answer wasn't Anya. I was almost like, for a moment, I was like, is it gonna be Anya? No.
I think she's got enough sense to not say her own name. And
No.
also, I don't think she's really aware. Even though she can read minds, she's still unaware, but because she's a 5-year-old, really. Or a 6-year-old at this point. I don't even know how much time has
I'm
passed.
not sure, but something like that. Yeah.
By the way, all these kids, I mean, I know it's just a manga, but they're going to this ball and acting all adulty. Uh, uh, yes, there's like kid moments, but it is funny, just hilarious to see a bunch of 6-year-olds act like adults.
I know. I
Going to
know.
dress up at a ball, like networking and try to dance. It's kind of
It
hilarious,
is so
but also
hilarious.
sad because I feel
Mm.
like there's probably some parts of the world that truly are like that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of like those toddler pageants. I don't know if you've heard of those, but
No.
uh, I only know them because of Netflix. But there's these basically beauty pageants, which is a very
Oh.
American
Mm.
thing. Well, I don't know. Maybe the UK did it first. Anyway, beauty pageants. But actually, one of the characters mentioned something about it. I think she won like the toddler pageant or whatever. Do you ever read about that?
Yeah, yeah.
But that's a
Like
thing,
Miss
or at least
Toddler or
in
something like that.
some parts of the world. So I don't know.
Mm, mm.
I don't know. I've always found it very strange and
Yeah,
not the kind
yeah.
of world I want to be.
Yeah, no, that is strange. But yeah, it's just really like that whole dynamic in that scene just added to the absurdness of it all. And yeah, it did make it funny,
Yeah.
but it is, yeah, it is also tragic in some way. It also kind of shows how these kids are probably in some way manipulated by their parents to like,
Yeah.
or maybe not manipulated, but yeah, at the very least,
Well, brainwashed.
yeah, well, in some sense manipulated to act
Yeah.
in this way.
But at least Endo got to draw a bunch of outfits.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
sure he had fun with that.
For sure.
He seems to really like doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, he does good outfits. But yeah, Damien also slipped up saying that he thought Anya's family seemed nice,
Oh yeah.
which was surprising to me. I like, especially in that moment right there, I did not think he would say something like that so suddenly. Um but but yeah, that was really sweet.
Yeah, it was nice seeing them have a normal conversation, not like a yelling spat or
Mhm.
anything of that nature for a brief moment. And so he was able to be himself and really, say what he's thinking.
Yeah.
Because yeah, deep down, I think he is really thinking like, "Wow, that sounds like a great family,"
Yeah.
and kind of wishes his family was like that as well.
Cuz he has a messed up family. Poor
Oh yeah,
guy.
absolutely. Um, and so he quickly retreats, uh, back into the insults. But for that brief moment, it was nice to see. So, eventually, I think there'll be a time where they can just talk with each other and
Yeah.
not be embarrassed or upset. or poke fun of each other, and
Yeah.
that'll be a great day when that happens.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Now I guess we gotta wait for a time skip or something.
I guess. Yeah, well, that's all on Damien.
Yeah,
Then let's talk about Demetrius Desmond. He got the highest scores and second highest scores in tons of subjects all at once.
yeah.
So, like, yeah, no wonder he's already an imperial scholar, since I imagine it's been similar previous years. So he's just been racking up stellar stars.
Kind of hard to live to up to that kind of older brother for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And and yeah, Anya tried to read Demetrius's mind, and all she kind of got out of it was him not understanding anyone.
Yeah,
Apparently, he doesn't understand people in general. Is what I got from that. So yeah, it's interesting. I kind of get the feeling that he probably doesn't really want to bother with anything other than school right now. That would explain why he does so well in school, if that's like the only thing that he's kind of zoned in on, and just like human interaction doesn't matter at all to him.
I agree. It's definitely something along those lines where, yeah, human interactions is just not unattainable, but it's hard to understand for him, and
Hmm.
it's too much of a bother to where he can't really. I mean, I guess technically you could go to a textbook and, and read stories or read things about that, but for whatever reason, it just doesn't click for him, and it's
Yeah.
waste of a time, or too much of a bother to even do, which is sad.
Yeah.
Not that everyone has to be super outgoing, everybody, but I mean, he's just kind of almost listless going through life with really no inner monologue or anything.
Yeah.
Uh, just you know, I don't understand this. Wasting my time.
Uh-huh.
Leave. You know.
Exactly.
I was kind of
Yeah.
hoping that there would be a twist where Demetrius was actually a good brother. Just unfortunately,
Yeah.
Damien couldn't see it,
Mm.
but it seems like that's not the case. Although it's also not the extreme where he's just this horrible person that you know eh, will throw egg at your face or kick Damien down or whatever.
Yeah.
He just doesn't care or just care about people, care about relations or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
So it's a I think it's a unique edge to this family
Mm-hmm.
and a dynamic that's different from I would assume his dad
I think
in
so.
some way,
Right.
but certainly different than his mom.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Yeah, they're all sorts of different types of weird.
Yeah, they're all messed up in their own little way.
And hey, who isn't?
Although Damien is just in a sad predicament. I don't know if I call him messed up yet. I think he hasn't, at least as far
Yeah.
as I could tell, he hasn't really been contaminated, although he is a bit full of himself. So
He's just a
I guess
tsundere.
there's that. Yeah, yeah. At
Yeah.
the end of the day,
Yeah, and I thought it was also interesting regarding Demetrius how, to Damien's surprise, not even Demetrius is particularly close in contact to their father. So it's not like necessary. Well, I don't know. Maybe Demetrius is the favorite son. I don't know, but at the very least, he doesn't seem to get all that much of a special treatment these days,
yeah,
apparently. So that was interesting.
for sure.
I look forward to getting to know the Desmond family more.
I know that. Yeah, that arc or couple backstory chapters maybe will be interesting. But actually, we
Yeah,
got to know the Desmond family, or at least one of the Desmond family, like, more so than I thought we would in this volume.
exactly. Donovan Desmond as a child. That was a fun surprise.
It really was.
And it was, yeah, we got to understand his mindset kind of a bit better here. Assuming he has maintained the same mindset as as he had when he was in school, which
Yeah.
may or may not be the case, but in this case, I'm assuming it is the case. Um, that he simply doesn't think that humans are capable of achieving peace. So why try? That's kind of how he thinks. And that humans are just liars, no matter what.
Right. Yeah. Always hiding their true intentions.
Yeah.
Which is a very cynical way of looking at the world.
Definitely.
I mean, I certainly can see the reasoning behind it. It's hard to trust some people completely. But that said, I think it's also wise to not look at the world, in such tunnel vision type scenarios.
I want to know who betrayed Donovan. Like who made him like this?
Yeah.
Like I feel like he's got to have gone through something traumatic, kind of, and have been betrayed by someone to break his trust for the world at large, kind of.
Yeah, I wonder if it could be fellow peers, it could be family, it could be some sort of, I don't know what his parents did. I guess something military related, right, or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
But so I don't know if it would actually how that would affect him. I was thinking, oh, what if a company framed his father's company or something? Thinking about the plot points.
Fair. Yeah.
But no, yeah. What could have caused him to be so cynical? And it could be something as simple as just looking at the world around him and just quickly coming to that conclusion.
Could be.
By the way, yeah, I would like to see the backstory for that.
Yeah. Well, do you want to talk about any other characters?
I have one little thing on Lloyd. It's a little thing.
Yep.
Just during the Snowden cabin story, when one of the sleazy guys or whatever his name was, started accusing Yor, he got a little protective.
Oh yeah, at that
point,
that's true.
It kind of reminded me, not to the extreme, but kind of reminded me when that one Eden Academy person was talking smack about Yor, and he was about to throw hands. He was like ready to go.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of that a little bit, but obviously that was much more aggressive and extreme. But anyway,
yeah,
I like pointing out those moments.
That is absolutely a good thing to point out,
where it's clear that he cares.
Yeah, very nice. All right then, let's hop into the comedy bits that we liked the most. I thought it was very funny how Anya was craving for them to go skiing only to lose interest basically right away. And it's a classic Anya thing. And also,
classic Anya,
really
classic kid.
Yeah. Also, all the names of the people in that, like the murder mystery, were also really funny to me. My favorites were a drama queen, Porter part-timer, and Guy Loves Tusky.
That was so on the nose. Let's go look for the red snowman. Wait, what? Totally the exact opposite reaction that guy was expecting.
Yeah.
But on point for the little gremlin.
Yes.
Oh, and then Yor promises, or in her mind, she says, "I never kill people outside of work. never do that.
Right.
Outside of work.
Yeah.
Keep that my work life and my personal life separate."
Exactly. Professional.
So earlier when we see the test scores, Anya gives some pretty incredible faces, but Lloyd also gives the same face.
Yeah.
Like this beady-eyed face. I thought it was just hilarious.
Very good, yeah.
Learning when Anya earns both a star and a bowl. I thought that was pretty great.
Yeah.
And then Anya acting like Demetrius
Yeah.
later on.
Same eyes.
That was pretty funny. Yeah.
I also really loved how Anya envisioned how she would dance with Damien. It was like dancing at a school disco, kind of that type of dancing with him. I thought that was really great. Because honestly, that's the more realistic way to dance, like at their age.
Yeah.
But it's like obviously like knowing Eden Academy, we know that that's not what we can expect. But at the same time, like Anya is right or she should be right in assuming that type of dance.
Yeah.
And speaking of dance, Lloyd puppeting Anya during the competition with like standing on one foot,
So
and clapping
good.
hands, and Anya just
So
like
good.
flailing around, like trying to do tricks, and poor Lloyd. Oh, I love that.
And we discover that Anya has a secret talent, inchworming. Apparently, she's just a pro at that.
That was also.
I'm not gonna read too much into that. That's just hilarious.
That is very fun. Yeah. Whew, boy.
A dress to kill. I'll murder him so dead with this dress.
Yeah.
That was great.
Also classic Anya comedy.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things, it's not necessarily the funniest, but it was young Henry like just flailing around when he was trying to dance with Martha when they were young.
That was sweet.
It was funny, but it was also like the last kind of glimpse of light that we got from their story in the flashbacks.
Yeah.
So like it made it really valuable and like precious. But yeah.
And then when he's riding her, he's saying, "I've actually improved my dancing, so let's finish our dance when you get back. Get back." Yeah, that was tough.
Oh, so tough.
But
and they think they got their dance. They got their dance again.
Yeah.
And that time, by then he had learned.
Yeah, there was no grievances there. Did they say? I can't remember. Did they say that this was the first time they had danced in a long time? Or
like in the present day dance?
Yeah.
I don't remember there being anything like that.
Did they even say anything like that?
I think, because Martha says, does bring back memories, and then Henry says, "May I have one dance for old time's sake?" So I think that's all they're saying about that.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so maybe this is the first dance that they had since then.
I think so.
I'm just curious if maybe they did have a dance when she gets back, but
I guess we'll see.
Again,
we'll have to see.
I kind of predictions talked.
I kind of appreciate though if this would be it, because it makes this moment more special.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah.
My last thing, I guess it's less comedy, more of a neat thing to compare. When Henry fights back and he's like, bemoaning that he became an animal, Martha's like, "You fool! Humans are animals." And it makes me feel like either that it was a nice callback, or that's where Becky got it from.
Right. Oh yeah, that's right. That's nice. I like that.
And said to the same person too.
Yeah. Then let's hop into predictions and whatnot.
Okay.
I'll kick it off with a question. Do you believe that education could truly put an end to war?
Oh, is this predictions?
Well,
or is this
potentially
philosophical question time?
It's maybe a little bit of both. Let's call it both.
Do I feel that education could put it in to war? Unfortunately, I feel like education can be used as a tool to promote war as well.
Yeah, as we kind of got through Henry here and his own understandings.
Yeah,
But I think true education, like true bias-free education,
Yeah.
maybe.
Um.
I don't know. Obviously, hard question.
No. I think for me, what's more important is to expand our understanding and our reasoning,
Hmm.
and seeing the world as not just my needs and my immediate surroundings, but understanding that there are other people in this world and other people's points of views and things like that. Obviously, that's a lot of platitudes and positive thinking or whatever, however you put it. But I do think that when you try to understand others, your own mindset becomes a little bit more open, and
Hmm.
the likeliness for conflict goes down. Now, I can't say for sure that would get rid of all war, but I
Yeah.
think of conflict that we have now, a lot of it stems from, you know, years of hatred, misunderstanding, some propaganda, and racial hatred.
Yeah. As well as probably a degree of revenge in some sense as well. We wanted to get back at the other, like,
Yeah, historical,
yeah, right.
right?
Hmm.
Historical. And I do feel like if both sides took the chance to try to understand each other, or all sides, and just to say both, that implies only two.
Yeah, right,
All
right.
sides,
Mm.
um, then I feel like some conflicts would go away eventually. But the problem is it's so ingrained into people's culture, their mindset.
Mm.
They're taught to hate certain groups, and it's hard to try to get at the core of it. So maybe I get to the question. Maybe the education that needs to be taught is not so much, although I think history is important. Um, but maybe it should also be how the parents teach their children, and the principles that they teach their children. Maybe that's the more important aspect. But I sorry, I'm talking long, and feel free to cut a lot. But
No, no, no.
I think that just to say education is
Hmm.
maybe not enough. I feel like there has to be, well, I guess it depends on how you define education, I guess.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's a very broad kind of question in that way, and I agree with you in that regard. I do think though, like education, like at its finest, like at its like least bias, you know, being just straight up, presenting facts as they are without devaluing other people in any type of way. I think could or would breed understanding for for people between people. Though it's a difficult thing to achieve, and it requires all sides to properly do it.
Oh yeah,
So obviously, huge efforts.
yeah. I think more importantly than just reading about something or listening to someone talk or doing a homework or something. I think what's more important is the interaction part. I think once you have that interaction where you see
Hmm.
someone that you historically you'd have a conflict with, you see them as a person, see their country as a person, as a group of people.
Hmm.
That's where I think it becomes less likely that war would happen.
And I think that could be like a part of the
Like
education.
social studies or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, right, right. I think education is such a broad concept that those types of things
Right.
could fall in under that. Uh, but anyway, I'm sorry for asking such a hard question.
It's fine.
Well, I guess if we're hopping on, I do have another question, which is a lot more tied to the actual predictions.
Hmm.
Do you think Henry and Martha will end up together?
My opinion is no. I don't think they'll end up together. I think it'll remain the a lost love,
Hmm.
almost a bittersweet ending in a way for these two.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my prediction: is that Martha will eventually return home, obviously,
Yeah.
see Henry with the family. It'll be a hard pill for both of them to swallow because I think Henry will end up meeting her as well.
Yeah.
Uh, but what if Henry's wife is actually a very kind and understanding person? Not,
Sure.
not like in any way where there would be any sort of adultery or anything like that. But um, but maybe Henry's wife helps Martha in some way. Maybe she becomes a really close friend or helps her find a place to work because being a veteran of war, PTSD is a real thing, and having to overcome a lot of obstacles. It
Mm-hmm.
certainly can be hard for people. So maybe to help smooth out losing the love of her life and up until that point, maybe Henry's wife becomes a help to her along with Henry. Maybe
Yeah.
that's kind of what I've been thinking.
That would be
So
very nice.
that's it.
Or well, all things considered, nice. Um,
Do you think they'll get together?
I've been super torn on it. Uh, I really obviously want them to, but I'm also like when I'm thinking about what I actually think would happen, I'm more along the same lines as you. That maybe not. Maybe this is just gonna be this bitter slash bittersweet love story.
Mm-hmm.
Um, without a happy ending. Now, we don't know.
Well, she's
Uh,
alive. She has a
uh,
life. I think
well,
that's where the
right,
bitter. That's where the sweet comes in the bitter.
true, and they did reunite as well, so that
Yeah.
is also sweet. So that's fair. Um, as far as I'm aware, now maybe I've missed something, but as far as I'm aware, we don't know about Henry's wife in the present day, right?
Yes.
So
Uh, yes.
like we don't know if she's alive or whatever the situation is
Yeah. That
there.
was gonna be. Yeah, that was gonna be one of the questions I wanted to put out.
Hmm.
Is Henry's wife still alive? Did they have children? I can't remember if he ever mentioned like grandchildren or sons or daughters or anything like that.
Yeah, not to my recollection. So yeah, we really don't know anything on that. I'm thinking, obviously, if the wife has passed away since, then the chances, slightly better that they could end up together again. But even then, I don't think it's guaranteed. And if she is still alive and they're still married, then obviously no, they won't end up together. Um, so yeah, most likely, probably, sadly, they won't end up together. As much as I would like to see it. Although I would also appreciate that bittersweetness.
Yeah. No, I mean, I love me a good sad story.
Conclusion seems to be that they will not end up together. I think from both of our sides.
Yeah. Just to throw another possibility out there. What if when he finds out that she's still alive, he somehow ends the marriage? I mean, which would probably be a disgrace. So I don't know if
Not
it would
very
work out. But
gentlemanly.
not very gentlemanly, but if it's a loveless marriage, um,
Right, right.
which we don't know, he
Um,
could end up falling in love with her.
that's
Um,
possible, yeah.
but if it's a loveless marriage and he decides to end it, maybe he tries to get back with Martha or run to her, but she's just so far gone mentally,
Yeah.
or is that the correct way of putting it? Just so scarred that she just can't um, deal with love or human relationships as much.
Mm,
Maybe,
right. Yeah.
but
Yeah, I
or
can
or
see
maybe
that.
it's like one of these. I'll do it. I'll break away for my wife to be with you, and maybe she stops him.
Right, she
Anyway,
urges him
there's
not
a few
to,
ways that
perhaps. Yeah, yeah, there's a
yeah
lot of ways it could
yeah
go. All we know is that they didn't end up together. Um,
Right.
At least not
Right.
until present day, and even then, they probably won't. Yeah, I'm super, super excited for the next volume in terms of, what's gonna happen next. Or, well, it's already happened because it's in the flashbacks, but still. This is one of the most exciting parts of the manga to me. Like
Yeah,
finding out what's gonna happen. Like I'm very, very eager.
for sure.
I actually don't have much more for predictions. What about you?
Yeah, I have two more things and that's it.
Hmm?
These two predictions, one is definitely more so what I'm thinking is going to happen, and then the second one is kind of out there. So let's do
Uh-huh.
the first one. Uh,
Yes.
one of the kids mentioned when Henry was a teacher and they were in a bomb drill. There was rumors going around. One of the kids mentioned that human experiments were happening on prisoners of war,
Right, right.
and I wondered. My mind went to Anya, who clearly was experimented on, but obviously, she wouldn't be alive anywhere near it at this point.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder if Anya's mother was a prisoner of war,
Mm.
maybe not so much as a soldier, but an innocent bystander, but somehow was taken, maybe as a little girl or something.
Yeah.
And then eventually they, you know, through experiments, either impregnated her or whatever. I mean, that's it's horrible to say, but
Yeah.
whatever happened, like she gave birth to Anya, um,
Mm-hmm.
and that was part of their experiments.
Maybe,
So
or sorry, were you done? I'm sorry for
no,
interrupting.
that's it. That's it.
That is very fascinating. I got like an idea for like, well, to build onto that just now, like maybe because I like the idea that maybe it was Anya's mother who was the either war prisoner or at the very least the person that was experimented on, and that maybe what they wanted to accomplish on her, on Anya's mother, was what Anya ended up getting
Mm-hmm.
somehow. Maybe she was pregnant with Anya without them knowing about it or something, and then the powers that they wanted to get into the mother ended up in Anya instead, but they didn't understand that perhaps, and that's how Anya got away.
Mm,
Although no, we've seen her be like in like
no.
experimentation settings more like
Yeah.
personally, so no, maybe not. But yeah, still, the fact that her mother might be in the picture in that kind of a way could be interesting.
It is odd that she's not, or she's away from these experimenters.
Right, how she got away. I
I don't
want to
know
know
what the
how
happened.
that happened.
Yeah.
She ended up at the
Gosh,
orphanage
Anya. I
somehow.
can't wait to hear. Yeah, I can't wait to hear Anya's backstory, and not
Yeah.
just that. Apparently, she had been adopted and taken back multiple times. At least that's what the guy had mentioned in the very beginning.
Right. That's right.
So it's like, what
A
what has
troubled
happened to this
child.
child?
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um. So and then second, my a little more out there uh prediction or more so guess.
Mm?
Could Anya be actually from much longer time ago? And maybe this could put her into this World War II, 1940, 30 um, time period. But I don't know, they'd be speaking the classical language at that point.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
so
That part. Yeah.
I guess I'm just trying to pinpoint where this classical language thing could come from. I know in a previous discussion, or at least I feel like in a previous discussion, I mentioned that maybe it came from her mother, who, wherever she came from, they were primarily speaking that dialect for
Mm,
whatever reason.
mm.
Um, but I don't know. Could there be some odd sort of? I'm not saying time travel. That there's no way, but some sort of odd incubator where she
Right.
was kept in storage for who knows how long.
Mm,
I don't know why or how.
right.
Uh, but maybe there was some sort of incubation that kept her alive for a while, and classical language was just was spoken when she was first alive.
That's
So
funny. That's a nice guess.
yeah, it's pretty
uh,
far fetched.
I mean,
Um,
it's
but
you're trying to connect the classical language thing to something, and I kind of like that.
trying.
Plus the the human experimentation things going on at that time. Although
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say they're still going on, or at the very least, the dog experimentations are still going on. I imagine human experimentation might still be going on too.
Do we know for a fact that the dog experimentation is still going on?
Or well,
Because it was Apple, right?
right. I don't mean necessarily like exactly right now, but like in the general
Oh,
present day was obviously when Bond was from.
right.
Um, yeah, but yeah, very fascinating. Then, final question: Who is the star of this volume? I feel like it's got to be between two characters. If you
Yeah.
don't pick one of the two, you're wrong. No. Uh, who's your star?
Yeah, this it's tough.
It
It's
is.
tough.
It is.
Um, my star is the Red Snowman. No, sorry, I couldn't resist. No, it's hard, but I'm just gonna give it to Martha,
Nice.
just because I feel. Well, it was great to get Henry's backstory and the moment he first said elegant. I really liked Martha's growth and the tragedy of her not being able to confess her feelings.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I could give it to either of them, but I'm giving it to Martha.
Nice. And I feel so similarly. It's such a close race between these two in this volume. But I actually had to go with Henry ultimately.
Yeah.
Even though again, like so close. I love them both so much in this. But yeah, Henry, and I think it's primarily for like the fact that he's been around for so long and we haven't really known him that deeply. But
True.
now we do finally, and we understand what his ideals are and his strong kind of drive force and where it all came from and how it's progressed throughout his life. It was so fun to follow along with, and I'm again can't wait for the next volume to find out more about him and Martha. So stoked.
And to be fair, Henry's scene when writing that final letter to Martha
Yeah.
is what got me choked up.
Mm.
So I don't know. I maybe I am having regrets not giving it to Henry, but I really do like Martha too. So
Yeah.
I'll say Martha.
And like I could have
That's
easily
fine.
given it to Martha for her confession and her kind of yeah, just her journey's incredible as well in
That's
this.
tragic.
It's like the ups and downs,
Yeah.
and oh my gosh, it's so good, so good. Yeah, I'm again very pleased. This may potentially be my favorite Spy Family volume so far, and there's been plenty that I've really enjoyed. Um,
Yeah.
this one may be number one so far.
Fair.
And yeah, if anyone's still listening, let us know how much you cried reading this.
I hope you're still listening.
Yes. Definitely. Yeah.
I'm sorry I tried to go philosophical. I should not do that. I can't form thoughts very well.
No.
Hopefully Petter takes that all out.
No,
Hopefully.
no. Well, we shall see. I thought it was fun. It was a difficult question, but
It was fun between the two of us at the very least.
at the very least, and I hope it's fun to listen to as well. And thank you so much for being here, our dear listeners. If you enjoy our podcast, please share it with your friends. You'll find links to our social media in the description, and you can support us by rating our show on the podcast platforms and subscribing to our channel Umami Manga on YouTube. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time when we'll talk about Volume 15. Bye bye!
Until we meet again, see you later.
One of my like long time dream ever since I was a teenager, I think, has been like for the Narnia books to get like a worthy adaptation in like either like films or TV series at some point before I die.
I mean, before you die, yeah, that could. There's definitely a chance.
Right? I feel like
Anytime
that's
soon, maybe not.
they have like 50 years.